Did you purchase an RV without an inspection and your warranty is about to expire? Well, this video is for you. Hi everybody, it's Deb with Deb's RV Services and welcome to today's video. So sometimes people reach out to me and they ask me to do inspections that aren't necessarily for pre-purchase. They may want me to do an overall inspection because they plan to sell it. They may want an inspection just so they know what to repair or what's not working. But one of the other reasons, and this is really important for people whose warranty is about to expire, I can do an inspection for you so that you know all the items the dealership needs to fix prior to that warranty expiring. My client found a big red flag item with his RV when the slide dug into the floor. After that, he hired me to come out, do an inspection so that I could find anything else in the RV that needed to be repaired. So I went out there to do the inspection at a dealership, and this is a 2023 Grand Design Imagine 2910 bunkhouse. When I walked on the inside, I noticed the gouge mark in the floor right away. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to check out the slide system. I wanted to look underneath and see if I could find anything going on. So I ran the slide in and out and I didn't hear any sounds or see anything crazy. But what I wanted to do is check the gear rack underneath. So when I looked at it, I noticed that it was not centered correctly and it was off to the right a little bit. So I noted that to be further investigated by a qualified technician. But that floor is going to have to be repaired, and I wonder what it's going to look like after the repair job is done. That's a pretty deep gouge, and they're going to have to really work on that to get it looking good again. I would assume they couldn't just patch a floor. I'm not really sure, because you think about expansion and retraction, and when you have part of a floor that has been cut out and then another part of the floor they're not matching up, I don't know. I would guess that would be something that would be difficult to make right again without redoing the whole floor. But I don't know. It could be that they were able to repair it. I have put out a message to my client to ask how things went, and I have not heard back yet. But I am curious to know what that floor looks like after they repair it and what they did for him. So moving on, I also found that the water pump was running continuously. It did not stop after it pressurized. It just kept running and running and running. So there's definitely a problem with the water pump. It probably just needed to be replaced, but that was something that was noted. My client, if I recall correctly, they were not sure what that meant when the water pump just kept running. So they just turned off the water pump. But that actually is a problem. It's not supposed to act like that. It is supposed to shut off after the line's pressurized. So that was noted on the report. Looking at the roof, I noticed a protrusion in the rubber roofing, and that is going to need to be repaired because that could eventually break through the roofing material, and that would be bad because you could get water intrusion in there. And when you have a hole in the roofing, it could also with the wind blowing, you don't know how else it's going to tear or come apart. So that's going to need to be looked at. And when I think about that too, that kind of repair, I don't think they're going to redo the entire roof. But if they don't redo the roof, they may just patch it with like an Eternabond tape or a sealant after they fix that whatever's under there bulging through. But also, these are one of the reasons that I really, really encourage people to get a pre-purchase inspection, because if I were to see a bubble in the roof prior to you even purchasing it, and you could actually at that point demand that they redo the whole roof and not just do a patch job. I wouldn't want, after spending say $100,000 on a brand new RV, to have a patch on my roof already because there was a bubble in it or there was some kind of bolt that was sticking up that created a hole. I'd say, nope, I want that roof. I want the roofing material redone, and I'm not going to purchase it until it is. And that's the kind of leverage that you have if you don't sign the paperwork and you have a pre-purchase inspection. I always test the electrical system when I'm working these RVs. So I'm looking at I run the inverter, I run all the electrical without shore power as well as with shore power. So I also look at the solar charge controller and make sure that solar is coming in and it's working properly. This solar charge controller had an error on it, so it needed to be investigated by a technician. So that's something that is really important when you're getting your RV inspected, is to make sure that all of the electrical equipment works isolated. So you want to make sure that it works onshore power, offshore power, and that you can see the solar is coming in with a solar charge controller. So that needed to be looked at. There was also some appliance issues. The refrigerator was not cooling properly. Now, partly that could be because they didn't have it turned on when I arrived and it didn't get a chance to cool for a full 12 hours, which is why we always recommend that these refrigerators get turned on the night before or the morning before I even come in, preferably the night before, because a lot of times the staff doesn't get in until about the time that I arrive. So this happens a lot with dealerships. They will set it up for me and they will set it up that morning. And the technician goes in, they plug it in, they do all those things, but then the other things aren't turned on. So then I'm going in and I'm turning them on right at the beginning of my inspection, and it doesn't have enough time to cool. Some refrigerators will, like a residential, will usually will cool relatively quickly. But some of these other refrigerators, I can't necessarily say if it's because it's not working properly or if it's because it didn't have enough time to cool. I just note that the refrigerator is not to proper temperature, but I really don't know if it's just because it didn't get enough time or not. So in my report, I just note it wasn't on when I arrived and it's not showing proper temperature. Please have a qualified technician verify that the refrigerator actually does come to the proper temperature of between 38 and 40 degrees Fahrenheit. My client also let me know of some things they wanted me to look at because they were having problems and they wanted it looked at by a technician, but they also wanted me as an inspector to look at it. And one of those things, aside from the flooring, was the fact that one of the cargo doors would not stay latched, but it was happening while they were driving. It would pop open while they were driving down the road. Now, I was not able to replicate that because I don't drive the RV. When I tested it, it closed just fine. But I did note it in my report that I wanted it further investigated by a technician and that my client was having a problem with it while they were driving. It was popping open. So I'm sure they can do something to kind of tighten that area so it doesn't pop open as often. But unfortunately, I can't always see the same thing that my client could see. The other thing that they noted was that the air conditioner was running intermittently. So it would cool and then it stopped cooling after a while and then it would not work. So in my mind, I think freeze sensor, because I know enough to know that that could be the problem. So I couldn't replicate it though, because see, while I was there, it cooled just fine. I wasn't running it long term to watch it shut down, and it didn't do that for me. But my guess is that if the techs could go in and just make sure that the freeze sensor is in its proper place, that would be a good place to start. But I can't tell them how to fix it. I can only tell them what I see wrong, and then a tech has to go in and look at it. But that's my guess. So anyway, I had to note down, it cooled just fine for me, but this needs to be further investigated by a technician because this problem is happening with my client, that it is turning intermittently. It is not working like it should. There was a minor thing like the wallpaper was peeling off of the bathroom, but one of the things that my client, because their warranty is ending, they wanted me to make sure that I looked at every little thing. So there were little things like the wallpaper peeling, and then even the external port for the grill. That was really difficult when I tried to hook up the grill, so I noted it. It needs to be changed out or fixed because it shouldn't be that hard for somebody to hook up an external grill. And there was also the little cap for it was missing and had fallen off. So they needed to fix that as well. So little things like that, I'm going to note. You wanted to make sure that I pointed out everything that I found. And that's what I did. I went around the whole rig. It's just like every other inspection that I do, a premiere inspection, where I put it in, I take hundreds of photos, I take videos, and then I create the report. And then my client can create an itemized list for the dealership. So I think it's a great idea to get your RV inspected by an RV inspector, whether you did an inspection prior to getting the RV or you did not. Your warranty, when it's time for it to expire, it's possible that at that point there will be some new items that are found that need to be repaired. And it's a great idea to get an inspection and then have that itemized list to send to the dealer, and they can get everything fixed for you before that warranty expires. Hope you enjoyed today's video. And hey, if you want to reach out to me in any other way, please look at the links below. I have many ways that you can reach out to me, either by email or you can go to my website. I offer services on Calendly that you can click and you can get a 30-minute consultation with me, or 60-minute, whatever you prefer. If you are looking for advice on an RV and you want to talk to me, you can click those links as well and you can schedule an appointment with me. Thank you for being here, and you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video.